Hello, beautiful souls. Welcome to my channel. If you're new here, my name is Infinity, and this is Magnetize Yourself, where we talk about life, love, spirituality, and of course, the law of attraction. I find it really interesting that this reading comes just one day before the full moon. This moon is commonly called the pink moon, and of course it is happening on Saturday, April 16th, and the fullest lunation occurs around 3 p.m. on Saturday Eastern Standard Time. So I know that many of us collectively as twins especially have been feeling some of these full moon energies already. Yeah, in the form of attachments, with the attachment card upright, the number 5 card. The number 5 often signifies change, especially the triple number 555. And what I see, I also saw 1155 for someone. And I heard that if you're seeing 1155 or some combination of 1s and 5s, this can actually indicate that you are being brought into alignment through change. Or another way of saying it that I guess is a bit different with this attachment card is through releasing these attachments that are being brought to light at this time, especially intensified at this time of the full moon. You are being catalyzed into rapid positive change and growth in your life. But again, this is happening through the rapid illumination of anything in your life that is still inhibiting your growth. Now, of course, these could be emotional patterns. These could be within your relationships, your connection, fears coming up specifically within your twin flame connection. Do let me know in the comments if you've been experiencing any of that, any of this feeling of patterns or things or emotions that your ego would label as negative seeming to be illuminated at the time of this full moon. Now, with rest and rejuvenation in the upright position, I'm seeing that the number 19 might be significant to someone, and for some reason, this is kind of funny, but in this image, there's a man meditating and something about his arm muscles are standing out to me. So this could indicate that someone has a twin flame who is either very muscular or who is very much working on themselves or their physical health, their body, their fitness. I'm also hearing this could actually be in connection with someone listening who is beginning to shift their health or their fitness or their body in some certain way that they've been guided to do so. So only take that if it connects. As I always say in these readings, I do channel many different specific messages for different individuals. So only take what connects with you personally. I'm also hearing something about a juice or a smoothie, like a fresh pressed juice or something like that. So there could be someone focusing on eating more fruits and vegetables, or eating more high vibrational foods, or incorporating more of these into their day. But again, these messages are probably just for specific groups of people. I feel that if you have been guided to make changes in regards to your health, your food intake, what kinds of food you are eating, etc., this is just one example of one of those things, those attachments being illuminated at the time of this full moon. So for some of what could be illuminated at this time is, I'm hearing, a need to nourish yourself in a better or different way. Again, whether that has to do with your schedule, how you structure your day, cultivating or carving out more time for yourself, or whether it's specific to some kind of movement of your physical body, getting out into nature, eating different foods. Again, whatever the case is for you. But I do feel that because only a specific group of people will resonate with the attachments in that specific way, I'm feeling that there are many other forms of these so-called negative attachments coming up for the purpose to be released. And what I just keep seeing is this visual of a flower trying to grow. And I had to reach over and get the 6th chakra card, which just came out, the intuition card in the reverse position. Okay, so someone here is feeling a bit foggy or a bit chaotic or has been feeling this way recently. And I know this will resonate with many, especially divine feminines, because I did create a reading a few days ago where I addressed this divine feminine energy of feeling very confused or feeling very chaotic and what that could mean for the feminines on a spiritual level. So if that is resonating with you and you would like more information on that, you can explore my recent divine feminine reading. But in brief, there's something about worthiness of love coming up here. Specifically, worthiness of unconditional love. And I'm hearing it begins with the self, but the ego doesn't know that. So at times, it may try to project it outward. There's something coming up here about not seeking the validation or approval from other people. For someone listening, there is this message of having a lot of eyes on you or some situation in your life and feeling a bit of pressure around this. So this could be a love situation, this could be a professional situation, a personal situation. Whatever it is, I feel like part of why it's been difficult for this person to hear their intuition, to hear their inner voice, is because it's hard to hear that over the voices of other people, either what they say or what they don't say, simply what they radiate about you energetically. So I am feeling guided to also say to be cautious of how you might be absorbing other people's thoughts, ideas, limiting beliefs, and how that could actually be impacting your own energy fields or creating more confusion or chaos within your own energy. With the Sun card reversed, I do feel that whatever this foggy or chaotic energy has been for the divine feminine, it's really related to some new phase, some new beginning she's been trying to bring into her life. And once again, I'm seeing that flower trying to grow up from the seed, from the ground, the seed being the vision that you've planted for your life, for this connection, for whatever the case is for you. Something you feel a lot of love for, you feel really passionate about, but it's funny, I get the image of someone going to go water a flower every single day when it's still a seed. And this represents all of the intention, all of the passion, the love that you're putting into this thing that is seemingly invisible from an above ground perspective. And I see all of these people kind of watching and judging this person for watering this seed every single day because they're kind of talking amongst themselves or saying to this person, I don't really know if that's ever going to grow or ever going to evolve into anything. I'm hearing dead end. So other people may perceive this situation to be some kind of a dead end. But this person knows in their soul, in their intuition, that their consistency will pay off, that if they continue to hold this vision, to hold that seed in the ground and water it and feed it with their own passion every single day, that eventually it will manifest into that plant, and others might see that as magic. But this person knows that it's really just nature. It's a law of the universe. It's interesting. So I feel that whoever I'm speaking to here might have some kind of dream or vision or something that is very essential to this new beginning, whether it's involving another person or something happening in their life, and something about this feels invisible to them from a 3D perspective or feels impossible when they're looking at it through the eyes of ego or when other people look at it. And I do see that some of that self-doubt may have seeped into their own vibration a little bit. With happy family in the upright position, it's interesting. I'm getting two messages from this card because this card can signify twin flame reunion. So there could be some kind of reunion state with your twin flame counterpart in the physical here for you, Divine Feminine, that you are desiring, that is inherently interconnected with this vision you are planting. But I'm also hearing that even if this vision for the next phase in your life doesn't seem to really include them from a 3D perspective, meaning you aren't actively trying to manifest something specific within this connection, you're just kind of letting it be. I feel this person just surrendering to it, letting it be, and focusing on these other beautiful things, dreams, goals they're trying to manifest in their life. But if that is you and you are that person, I see that the incredible and almost magical thing going on here is as you continue to align more closely with your heart's desires, with your pure soul desires, you radiate more and more of your core, authentic soul frequency, which on a spiritual level is creating this pulling effect, this attraction effect for your twin flame and for this reunion state. If that is something that you desire, that will be available to you in a way that it may have felt inaccessible in the past, but it's because you are aligning more closely with yourself. And that is the key here, because I feel that at times this person feels as though they're choosing between manifesting their goals, dreams, focusing on themselves, or focusing externally on their twin flame counterpart. And what this person is being guided to realize is that by focusing on yourself, on those goals and dreams, even if at times it might feel as though you're letting go of the other, you're really just surrendering the other to the divine unfolding, to the perfect timing that is already in place for you and will begin to unfold the more that you align with that core frequency, which you are actually doing through choosing yourself, through focusing on yourself. It's not a choice you're making between one or the other. I'm getting it's a choice that you are consciously making to go within yourself, to choose yourself, to show up for and empower yourself, to believe in yourself. And that is how, and I do feel I'm speaking to many Divine Feminines here specifically, that is how you, Divine Feminine, reconnect with that worthiness of love by showing that love for yourself. That is what breaks through these limitations. And anything coming up for you at this time, I'm hearing that perceives to be negative, or that the ego perceives to be negative or to be uncomfortable, whether it's an emotional pattern, memories, flashbacks coming up, all of these things are actually blessings in disguise for your highest good, because they are here to brightly, emphatically illuminate something within you that could be like, I just keep seeing these weeds, but they're small weeds growing up around this flower, this vision you're trying to create. And Spirit, the divine, your guides are using this illumination effect, bringing your conscious attention to these negative patterns, these memories, these flashbacks. For some, it's things coming to you in dreams, using them with a kind of symbolism. And that's a key here we'll talk about in a minute, to actually shed light on some kind of negative energy dynamic that you are being called to uproot within yourself to allow your vision to continue to grow. Now, what I mean by symbolism here is I feel that things coming up collectively for twin flames right now carry a kind of symbolism that the ego doesn't recognize, but that the soul knows. But because the ego is very loud, it's a lot louder than the intuition, than the knowing of our soul. I feel that at times recently you may have had negative emotions, feelings, bodily sensations even, causing you to wonder, did I make the quote unquote right choice about something in my life, about the person I'm going to commit to, about the job I'm going to pursue, about the business I'm going to create, about the separation from a karmic partner, a karmic situation, whatever the case is for you. There could be this feeling of doubts, confusion, or regrets being created by the ego, who is trying to latch on to the illumination of these negative patterns, not realizing that the things coming up hold this kind of symbolism. So for example, and this is just one example because this will apply very differently for different people, but for one person, I'm seeing that you might have this feeling of, did I make the wrong choice in choosing between two romantic partners, or choosing two different romantic paths in my life, or saying goodbye to a specific romantic person in my life? And you might have this feeling of confusion because your spirit guides have given you dreams or have given you feelings, emotions about this person that have caused you to feel nostalgic, to feel regretful and unsure. But what the universe is trying to tell you is it's actually not about the person at all. And again, this is such a hyper-specific example. I know this won't apply literally for everyone. I'm just giving you an example of how things may not be what they seem at this time. And that's really a theme of this full moon reading and what's coming up along with this full moon for twin flames. It's being able to receive the clarity, to see the symbolism in what's coming up and address the patterns that symbolism is speaking to, rather than allowing the ego to latch on to the manifestations of these patterns and create this feeling of doubt, confusion, and uncertainty. So again, for example, in this person that could be choosing or felt like they made a choice between two romantic paths, and then they end up dreaming or thinking or feeling powerful emotion at this time about the person they chose to divert from or disconnect from. This isn't necessarily the universe telling you to reconcile with that person, to go back to that specific person. In fact, this could be the universe shedding some kind of, I heard shedding your skin. It's like you are shedding this layer of yourself. Specifically, in this case, you might be shedding the skin spiritually, shedding the layer of yourself that you were when you first romantically connected with that path or with that person. So I'm hearing there's a layer of yourself that needs to be let go. So if something's coming up for you that you're worried, I heard making and unmaking some kind of decision. There's definitely something about decisions here for someone, and the inability to feel confident about a choice or decision, even if it's a decision to simply move in a certain direction spiritually or in your life. But regardless, once again, it's not about the decision at all. It's about giving that vision the best chance to grow very quickly and to thrive, to really catalyze that growth by uprooting any of those old negative patterns that could be like those weeds that might eventually try to choke out that vision. But of course they won't, because divinely you are being guided to uproot those patterns, to release them, to allow for the growth and cultivation of what you truly desire. And I'm hearing an emphasis on the word you, what you desire, because once again, I do feel there could be many voices from other people around you. I'm seeing the number 444 also. Man holding a coin reversed. Yeah, many voices around you, especially there could be either masculine figures in your life I'm hearing unawakened or less conscious masculines. This could be a family member like a brother, a father figure, a friend, a boss, a coworker. This could also be a person who presents as a feminine but carries a very strong, almost masculine energy. I'm hearing is a very logical person. If it is a female or a traditional feminine energy that we're speaking to here. But there's someone here around you potentially for some who could be very logically minded, so could carry that, what we traditionally think of as a very masculine energy, but they aren't as conscious as you spiritually. They aren't as awake, and because of that, they might have your best intentions at heart, but they also might not be able to see your situation, your choices, your path in the same way that you can see that path. I'm getting a name with an H for someone here also, but again, I feel this will only be for a few people, so only take that if it connects. And once again, the message is, if you do have anyone specific or anyone around you who you feel doesn't really see your vision or doesn't understand you, know that they can't see your vision because it was only given to you and not to them. Sacral chakra in the upright position. I'm hearing, how vulnerable are you willing to become? I feel that for some, and this could be masculines or feminines here, but some of what could be coming up with this full moon also are any blockages that have presented in the sacral chakra in the past. Now, of course, this is between the root chakra and the solar plexus chakra, which is really interesting because the solar plexus is really the seat of forward movement, action, confidence. It's sometimes called the powerhouse energetically of our being. However, I'm hearing that in order to fully access your power, that solar plexus power center, to fully access your natural confidence, your highest version of yourself presenting in the physical world, in physical form, it requires of you to allow this energy to rise up clearly, completely through the root chakra and through the sacral chakra, finally reaching the solar plexus. And I see that for many listening, there's been this energetic foundation that has been building for a while in the root chakra, and we've talked about this a lot in the last year. So many have begun to develop this sense of stability, of security within themselves, this greater harmony within the self, providing this energetic foundation through the root chakra. However, we are now seeing that energy move up more powerfully to the sacral chakra. I'm hearing purging through the sacral to allow full access to the solar plexus. So for some of you, there could literally be stomach sensations that are uncomfortable, especially in the lower stomach area. I'm hearing that there could be appetite changes, wanting to eat a lot or not being able to eat. Also sleep changes, changes in your energy levels. The number 36 may also be significant to someone. I hear coming to terms with something, with hostilities reverse, coming to terms with something in the heart center that has been blocking the sacral. Wow, very complex message coming through here because it involves these two chakra centers, but also involves, once again, that element of illusion coming up with the pink moon. And what I see here is there could be, for someone listening, this won't be for everyone, but there could be multiple love options in your life. And some of these situations could be with soulmates. Some of them could be karmic. Some of these people could be those from your past. For others, this will be more symbolic. It is a path you are choosing romantically at an energetic level, a spiritual level, and it feels like there are multiple options of different paths to take. And it feels almost as though You are at this fork in the road, although the ironic energy I'm getting for this person is that you were at this fork in the road in the past and you already made this choice, you made this decision and felt very sure about it at the time. And now recently, with the rising of this full moon in April, you may have felt as though you are remaking or being called to remake a decision that you already made. So that's a really strange energy coming up. But I'm hearing it's not that you're really being called to remake the decision. It's that you are being called to fully come to terms with the decision that you've made, which I really see like being that seed you've already planted in the ground. So what is being illuminated for you are those other potentials, those other paths that you could have chosen, which could be bringing up feelings of regret when the ego attaches to them. But really the purpose here is for you to fully clear your energy, to again pull out those weeds, to really give the vision of this future that is right for you, that is beautiful and aligned for you, and your soul knows it. Listen to your soul. You're not being called to unmake that powerful, beautiful, aligned decision for yourself. You're being called to fully clear out that, I'm hearing that illusion of options, because the ego could at times still seek the familiarity that it perceives could have come from those other paths, other choices, or other options. And I just keep seeing someone saging. So you might be feeling called to clean your house, to organize your space, to sage your home, to clear the energy of your living space in some way, especially if you've been in this state of confusion. And I feel that what you will find is, as you organize yourself, your vision for your life, what you want for your life, and as you organize, even for some, your physical space may be involved, you will find natural clarity. But I'm hearing that for some, there's this feeling of focusing too hard on what the ego perceives to be the question or the problem here, which just seems to be making it increasingly chaotic and confusing at times for you. But you're really being guided to step back, to zoom out here, and to ask yourself, what is the symbolism here beneath this confusion? Are my feelings of confusion really because I am afraid that I've chosen the wrong path, or I'm feeling true fear or uncertainty about this person, this choice, this business, this path? Or is the fear coming up, and here's the key from the sacral, trying to prevent me from being and standing fully in my vulnerability, either being vulnerable with the world, being transparent, being open, radiating who I really am, or being vulnerable within connections, within relationships. I do see for many divine feminines this fear of vulnerability coming up here may be connected with life purpose, life path, their work, how they show up in their connections and relationships with other people, choosing to be fully themselves, to be fully open and authentic, vulnerable and transparent, regardless of how those others receive them, not worrying themselves with how other people will validate or approve of them or not. And for many masculines, I see this sacral chakra energy mirrored here, because for many of them, this has to do directly with the twin flame connection. This has to do with, am I choosing, or did I choose this other person, this karmic, this other path that led me into separation at some point from my twin because it was what I wanted, or did I choose it because it allowed me to not be, or to have an excuse not to be fully vulnerable, to experience the total vulnerability and transparency that I inevitably experienced and continue to feel exclusively with my divine feminine counterpart. Now, of course, that won't apply literally to all masculines, because not all masculines, of course, are involved in some other form of karmic relationship physically, but this could also speak to karmic patterns. So there could have been a masculine who fell back into old karmic patterns that had to do with emotional patterns, behavior patterns, because On the subconscious level, it allowed them to disconnect from being fully vulnerable with their divine feminine counterpart. But I do feel that this masculine has chosen a new path, just as the divine feminine has committed to her spiritual path, to her new path. The energy here is the new path has been chosen. Now commit fully to it in mind, body, and soul by clearing the energy around those so-called other options, the other paths, that feeling of the other things you were choosing between. Because the strange truth of the soul here coming out also is this was always only the illusion of options. I'm hearing your soul knew the answer before it was presented with the question. Now that might apply literally for some. There could have been a moment of being asked to do something, to move in a certain direction, being put on the spot. And your ego thought it was making a decision, but the decision was already made in your soul. For others, this could be, again, a path that you've chosen in this life. There was never a question. There were never truly other options, only the illusion of options, because ultimately your path is inevitable, continuous growth and expansion. And that is the path that you have chosen, and the path that you will always find yourself called back to, and your soul knows this truth. Wow, very powerful messages coming out in this reading. So I do want to channel many more specifics in the extended version of this reading on Patreon. So in the extended reading, we will be channeling more messages from both the divine masculine and divine feminine. I just saw the number 3232 for someone, by the way. But we will be channeling these messages from each counterpart at both the conscious 3D level, so what they are potentially thinking or feeling in real time, consciously, as well as love messages from a higher self level, what I call 5D messages, what their souls long to say to one another. And all other details that are included in that extended reading are listed in the pinned comment and description box under this video, so you can explore those details. And if anything there resonates with you, you can feel free to explore the extended version of this reading through Patreon. But to close out this initial reading, I am going to pull just one final card from the Rumi Oracle. And this card is a new gown. I'm seeing that some might be seeing the number 1818 a lot as well. And I am going to read just a little bit from the guidebook here. Weary and consumed by longing, I was caressed by my beloved last night. My wounded soul was set free. When I tasted the sweetness of love, my spirit was lifted at once. I surrendered my life while overflowing with joy, and my vision was filled with lights. Love said, "Don't feel so hopeless, my weary and gloomy one. For my generosity is beyond forgetting those devoted to me. See how boundless divine justice can be. Behold my immeasurable kindness." Love embraced my spirits, and all my doubts vanished at once. A new and glorious robe of honor was placed on my shoulders. Love offered me the power of new vision and the transforming touch of divine generosity, and placed the chalice of eternal wine in my hands. And the guidebook also says, "Beloved, if you could only see the incredible gift, the symbolic robe being offered to you now." You are fast approaching a moment of great leap, an evolutionary shift on your spiritual path. Your sense of self and your divine destiny and identity is about to be revealed. And once again, I'm seeing that shedding of the skin, shedding of the layers of who you used to be when you chose those other things, people, or paths for the purpose of allowing you to fully become this, as the guidebook says, this divine identity. It is a divine happening. You must allow it. Honor yourself as a living being worthy of life, worthy of this royal path of divine realization. What a gift to embrace your own path, irrespective of what any other may think, whether they hold it in glory or derision. Who cares? Not you nor I. Your royal heritage has been revealed, and in seeing the divinity within yourself, you become blessed to see it in all beings, returning to the realization of royalty within. So I really hope you have a beautiful rest of your day and weekends. If anything here connected to you personally, be sure to leave me a comment under this video. Let me know what resonated with you. Also, be sure to subscribe if you haven't yet, because by subscribing, this does allow me to bring forth more relevant content and readings for you moving into the future. All of the information about what is included in the extended reading is now linked in the pinned comment and description box. You can explore those details from the extended reading, and if you feel guided to do so, feel free to join our beautiful Twin Flame Soul Tribe on Patreon. I hope you have a wonderful, beautiful day, and I will talk to you again in Monday's Twin Flame reading.